Here's a guide for the lab notebooks associated with the projects that I've worked on. So first we're going to start with my notebook. You see my name here at the front and on the binding. So the first, let's say, 100 pages of this notebook are all related to hexyne hydrogenation and phenylacetylene hydrogenation. I included a lot of early data here and information that went into the making of the spreadsheets, and I'll go over that when I'm describing the spreadsheets in a later video. But that's the first 100 pages. Then you get to this section called IR, set up on page 103, and this will go about another 25 pages. These were some IR experiments that we were doing for rice, and they may or may not have that published in the next year or so. I'm not sure they need anything else from that. See, the date here is 2017, and they haven't gotten back to me yet. So I think that's all being worked through on their end. We go to page 130. This contains my flow chart for making up the ICP standards. And then after that, starting on page 133 and then until the end of the notebook, it's all the rest of this is related to nitrous oxide. So I included here on the first page, this is a mass balance of the N2O. I'll go over this again in the video on the data workups, but remember that the N2O cylinder is 5% by volume N2O and 95% helium. So there was some that complicated the calculations a bit. But that started with the initial experimentations, figuring out the system, and led into the kinetic section, where instead of writing the same charts over and over again in the book, I finally started printing them. And that goes to almost the end of the book, or almost the end of the notebook. I think there'll be one blank page left. So that is the notebook with my name on it. So if you're interested in the alkyne hydrogenation results, you want the notebooks that have Stephen Tighe's name on them and Will Moore's name on them. So the first one is Stephen's notebook, and they both have hydrogenation logs, books 1 and 2 written on them. I can't see this too well here, but spring 2017 to winter 2019. So initially, he was still using the notebook. So the data starts around page 70. Yeah, there's a post-it note where the hydrogenation logs start. And we just went to the end of the notebook. And at this point, the student had graduated. So we went back to the point where he wasn't making his notes anymore, which is, pretty early in the notebook, because we had skipped to the back section there. And that summer we just started filling in the rest of it. So we went up to so you can look at the dates in the corner to have the better reference, but we went up to page 70 and then started a new notebook. So I took Moore's notebook. He went to, I think we go to Post-it first. He covered more pages initially. Oh no, the Post-it is just the page that we're presently on. But hydrogenation starts here on page 93. And then it continues to go. Currently, we're on page 130 and counting. And then finally, we have Aaron's notebook. This would be the binding label here. And Aaron's notebook contains data on the phenylacetylene hydrogenations that we were trying to work through last winter, the winter of 2018. So if you start at page 99, I had him separate his notebook in two because I was doing some of these experiments as well, and goes through some of the method building and some of the initial experiments. I've gone out over a lot of this data. Not a lot of it really made sense to me, but if we were to continue with the experiments, we'd obviously go to page 136 on here and go from there.